Maya never meant to cause trouble. She was just a 23-year-old tourist visiting the old temple ruins in Thailand. The hot sun beat down as she walked with her tour group. There were 10 other people with her, but Maya felt drawn to explore on her own. The guide was talking about the main temple building. Everyone listened and took photos. Maya looked around and saw a small building away from the others. No one else seemed to notice it. The small temple had carvings of strange animals and people with many arms. Maya felt like it was calling to her. While the others were busy, Maya slipped away. She walked toward the small temple. It looked very old, older than the main buildings. The stones were worn smooth by time and weather. Vines grew up one side, and the doorway was dark and cool looking. Maya wanted to see what was inside. As she got closer, she saw there was a guard. He stood very still by the entrance. He wore simple clothes but had a wooden mask over his face. The mask was painted red and black in a design Maya had never seen before. The eyes were just black holes. Maya walked up to the guard and smiled. She pointed to the doorway. "Can I go in and look?" she asked. The guard did not speak. He just shook his head no. Maya frowned. She could hear something from inside the temple. It sounded like soft voices or maybe whine through the stones. She really wanted to see what was in there. "Please," Maya asked again. "I just want to look quickly." The guard shook his head again. He stood firmly in front of the entrance. Maya felt frustrated. She had come all this way to Thailand to see amazing things, and now this one place was off limits. The sounds from inside seemed to grow louder, like they were calling just to her. Maya looked at the ground. She saw loose dirt and small stones at her feet. Without really thinking about what she was doing, she reached down and grabbed a handful. The dirt was warm from the sun. Maya looked at the guard, at those black eye holes in his mask. She threw the handful of dirt right at his face. Maya did not expect what happened next. She thought the guard would be angry. She thought he might yell at her or call for help. Instead, something very strange happened. The dust hit the wooden mask and seemed to hang in the air for a moment. Then the guard went completely still. Not the kind of still like when a person is trying not to move, but the stillness of a statue. Maya waited, feeling her heart beat fast. Then the guard moved. His head turned toward her very slowly. The movement did not look normal. It was too smooth, like a machine or a snake. Maya felt cold fear run through her body. The black eye holes in the mask now had a faint blue light coming from them. The mask was looking at her, but Maya knew somehow that it was not the guard looking out anymore. "You have awakened what was meant to sleep," the guard said in a voice that did not sound human. It was deep and seemed to come from far away, even though he stood right in front of her. Maya backed away. The blue light from the eye holes grew brighter. The mask seemed to be looking through her, not at her. Maya turned and ran back to her tour group. Her hands were shaking. She looked down and saw some of the dirt still on her fingers. She wiped them on her pants. The tour guide was still talking. No one had noticed she was gone. Maya tried to calm her breathing and act normal, but she felt like something had changed. The air felt different, and when she looked down at her wrist, she saw a small mark that had not been there before. It looked like a spiral drawn in faint blue lines. The rest of the tour felt strange to Maya. She kept looking over her shoulder. The blue mark on her wrist would not rub off. She tried to wash it in a bathroom sink, but it stayed in place. It did not hurt, but sometimes it felt cold against her skin. That night in her hotel room, Maya could not sleep. The room was hot even with the fan on. She kept thinking about the guard and the mask. Whenever she closed her eyes, she saw those blue lights looking at her. Around 3 in the morning, she got up to get a drink of water. When she turned on the bathroom light, she screamed. The mirror showed her face, but behind her stood the guard. The wooden mask with its black and red paint seemed to float in the darkness of the bathroom. Maya spun around, but no one was there. She was alone in the room. When she looked back at the mirror, the guard was gone. Maya did not sleep for the rest of the night. She sat on her bed with all the lights on. The next morning, she told no one what had happened. She thought they might think she was crazy. Maybe she was sick from the heat or the strange food. Maybe it was not real. The tour had 2 more days in Thailand. Maya stayed close to the group. She did not wander off again. But strange things kept happening. Water taps would turn on by themselves when she was in the bathroom. Her clothes were moved around in her suitcase when she was not looking. And sometimes, just as she was falling asleep, she would hear a voice saying words she did not understand. On the last day, Maya found a small wooden doll on her pillow. It was about the size of her hand. The doll had no face, just a smooth blank space where the face should be. Maya did not know how it got there. She had been in the room all morning, and the cleaning staff had not come in. She threw the doll in the trash. That night on the airplane flying back to America, Maya felt a little better. She was going home to Seattle. She would forget all about the strange guard and the mask. She would go back to work at the coffee shop, and everything would be normal again. The airplane was dark, and most people were sleeping. Maya closed her eyes and tried to rest. She woke up when she felt something cold touch her hand. The blue spiral mark on her wrist was glowing softly in the dark airplane. Maya covered it with her other hand and looked around. No one else had seen. Then she looked into the dark space of the aisle. The guard was standing there. Not a real person, but something like a shadow. The mask faced toward her. The blue lights in the eye holes were watching. Maya blinked hard, and the figure was gone. But she knew she had not imagined it. When the plane landed in Seattle, Maya was very tired. She had not slept at all for the rest of the flight. She got her bags and took a taxi to her apartment. It was a small place with just 1 bedroom, but it was hers, and it felt safe. Maya dropped her bags at the door and fell onto her bed without changing her clothes. She slept for 12 hours straight. When she woke up, it was dark outside. Maya got up and turned on the lights. Then she saw it. The wooden doll she had thrown away in Thailand was sitting on her kitchen table. The blank face was turned toward her. Maya picked up the doll with shaking hands. She threw it in her kitchen trash and put the trash bag outside in the big can. Then she took a long hot shower, trying to calm down. The blue mark on her wrist seemed darker now, and the spiral pattern was more clear. When Maya got out of the shower and dried off, she nearly fell over in shock. Words were written in the steam on the bathroom mirror. I fell low. Maya ran from the bathroom and locked herself in her bedroom. She put a chair against the door and wrapped herself in blankets even though the room was not cold. She tried to tell herself that there was a normal explanation. Maybe someone had broken into her apartment. Maybe she was still tired from the trip and seeing things. But deep down, Maya knew the truth. Whatever had been in that mask at the temple had followed her home. It had followed her across the ocean to her apartment. And now it was here with her. The soft sound of footsteps in the hallway outside her bedroom door told her she was not alone. The next morning, Maya called in sick to work. She had not slept at all. The blue mark now went all the way up to her shoulder. She could feel it pulsing like it had its own heartbeat. The wooden doll kept appearing in different places around her apartment. No matter how many times Maya threw it away, it came back. Maya decided she needed help. She searched online for people who might know about spirits and ghosts. She found a small shop not far from her apartment that sold herbs and crystals. The shop website said the owner knew about old spirits and could help with hauntings. Maya put on a long-sleeved shirt to cover the mark and went to the shop. It was a small place with dark wooden shelves full of strange things. Dried plants hung from the ceiling. Candles burned on the counter. The shop smelled like smoke and spices. An old woman sat behind the counter. She had gray hair in a long braid and wore many necklaces with different stones. When Maya walked in, the old woman looked up and her eyes went wide. "You brought something with you," the old woman said. She was not looking at Maya, but at the empty space behind her. Maya turned around quickly, but saw nothing there. "Can you see it?" she asked. "Can you see what is following me?" The old woman came out from behind the counter. She was very small, only reaching Maya's shoulder. She walked in a circle around Maya, looking at the air. "Yes, I can see it," she said. "A guardian spirit. Very old. Very strong. It is tied to you now." Maya felt cold even though the shop was warm. "Can you help me? Can you make it go away?" she asked. The old woman shook her head. "I cannot break such a bond. It has marked you." She pointed to Maya's arm where the blue spiral was hidden under her sleeve. "Show me," she said. Maya rolled up her sleeve. The blue spiral now covered her whole arm from wrist to shoulder. The old woman touched it with gentle fingers. The mark felt ice cold when she touched it. "This is a guardian mark," the old woman said. "The spirit was guarding the temple. Now it guards you. You are its new temple." "But I don't want to be a temple," Maya said. "I just want my normal life back." The old woman looked sad. "Some things, once done, cannot be undone." The spirit was sleeping in its mask. You woke it and made its mask unclean with dirt. Now it cannot go back. It needed a new home, so it chose you. "Will it hurt me?" Maya asked, her voice shaking. "No," the old woman said. "It will protect you. That is its purpose. It will keep you safe from harm. But it will never leave you. It will follow you all your days." Maya thought about all the strange things that had happened. The spirit had not hurt her. It had just followed her, watched her, maybe even tried to talk to her through the TV and mirror. "What should I do?" Maya asked. The old woman went to a shelf and took down a small cloth bag. She put dried leaves and small stones inside it. "Keep this near you," she said. "It will help the spirit stay calm. Talk to it sometimes. Tell it you accept its protection. It just wants to do its job." Maya paid for the small bag and left the shop. As she walked home, she felt like someone was walking beside her. Not behind her now, but next to her. She still could not see anything, but she knew it was there. When she got back to her apartment, the wooden doll was sitting in the middle of her coffee table. Maya picked it up and looked at the blank face. "I understand now," she said out loud. "You were guarding the temple. Now you are guarding me. I accept your protection." The air in the room felt warmer. The doll seemed to get heavier in her hands. Maya put it back on the table. Then she took a small plate from her kitchen and put it next to the doll. She placed some rice and a flower on the plate, like she had seen people do at the temple in Thailand. "This is for you," she said. "Thank you for protecting me." Maya felt very tired suddenly. She went to her bedroom and lay down. For the first time in days, she felt like she might be able to sleep. As she closed her eyes, she saw the guard standing in the corner of her room. The mask was facing her, but not in a scary way now. It felt like someone watching over her while she slept. Maya woke up hours later. It was dark outside. She had slept all day. She felt better, more rested. The blue mark on her arm did not feel cold anymore. It was just there, a part of her now. Maya got up and went to the living room. The rice and flour she had left were gone from the plate. The wooden doll was still there, but it was facing a different direction. As Maya made herself dinner, she talked out loud to the spirit. She told it about her life, her job, her friends. She was not sure if it understood, but it felt right to talk to it. After all, they were going to be together for a long time. A week passed. Maya went back to work at the coffee shop. She kept the herb bag from the old woman in her pocket. The blue mark stayed on her arm, but it did not grow any bigger. Maya wore long sleeves all the time now, even when it was hot. No one at work seemed to notice anything different about her. Maya got used to the spirit being with her. She would feel it most strongly at night, or when she was alone. Sometimes she would catch a glimpse of the wooden mask in a window reflection or in the dark corner of a room. It did not scare her as much anymore. She kept leaving small offerings for the spirit. Rice, flowers, sometimes a bit of her food. The offerings would always disappear by morning. The wooden doll stayed in her apartment, moving to different places when Maya was not looking. She started to think of it as the spirit's way of showing it was there. Then something strange happened. Maya was walking home from work one night. It was dark, and the street was empty. A man stepped out from an alley and grabbed her arm. He had a knife. "Give me your bag," he said. Maya was too scared to move. She could not even scream. The man raised the knife. Then the air around them got very cold. The man's eyes went wide with fear. He was looking at something behind Maya. "What is that?" he shouted, backing away. "What is that thing?" Maya did not turn around. She knew what was there. The blue mark on her arm was ice cold and glowing through her sleeve. The man dropped the knife and ran away down the street. Maya picked up the knife and threw it in a trash can. Then she said quietly, "Thank you for protecting me." When she got home, the wooden doll was in a new place, sitting on top of her bag. Maya put a cookie next to it as a special thank you. That night, she dreamed of the temple in Thailand. But in the dream, she was not a visitor. She was the temple itself, with the guardian spirit watching over her. The next day, Maya went back to the old woman's shop. The old woman smiled when she saw her. "The spirit is settling in," she said. "I can see it more clearly now. It is very old, older than the temple where you found it. It protected me last night." Maya told her about the man with the knife. The old woman nodded. "That is its purpose, to guard against harm. The spirit was a protector in life, so it remains a protector in death." "It was a person once?" Maya asked, surprised. "Long ago," the old woman said, "a warrior who died defending that sacred place. Its spirit stayed to keep guarding even after death. The mask was made to give it a face, a place to rest when it was not needed." Maya thought about this. The spirit had been a person, someone who cared so much about protecting others that they stayed to do it even after death. That made Maya feel differently about it. "Can I talk to it?" Maya asked. "Can it understand me?" "It understands feelings more than words," the old woman said. "It knows when you are afraid or in danger. It knows when you are grateful or angry. Talk to it if you want, but know that it is your emotions it hears most clearly." Maya bought more herbs from the old woman and went home. That night, she sat in her living room with the wooden doll. "I want to know you better," she said to the empty air. "I want to understand why you chose me." Nothing happened at first. Then Maya's TV turned on by itself. The screen showed snow and static. Shapes began to form in the static. Maya saw a temple, different from the one she had visited. It looked much older. She saw people in old clothes bowing to a warrior with a sword. Then she saw the warrior fighting to protect the temple from attackers. The warrior fell in battle, but kept fighting even as he died. The images changed. Maya saw the mask being made, painted with care by temple workers. She saw the mask being placed on the warrior's face as he was buried. Then she saw the mask being taken from the grave and hung in the temple, where the warrior's spirit could rest and still protect the sacred place. The TV went dark. Maya sat very still, thinking about what she had seen. The spirit had shown her its story. It had been guarding that temple for hundreds of years. Then Maya had come along and thrown dirt at its mask, making it unclean. The spirit had needed a new home, a new purpose. "I'm sorry I ruined your mask," Maya said softly. "I didn't understand what I was doing." The wooden doll moved slightly on the table. Turning to face her, Maya reached out and touched it gently. "But I understand now. You needed somewhere to go, someone to protect, and you chose me." The blue mark on her arm felt warm now, not cold. It was no longer a strange thing that had happened to her. It was a connection to something ancient and powerful, something that had chosen to stay with her and keep her safe. That night, Maya slept peacefully. She did not see the spirit in her dreams, but she felt its presence nearby, watching over her. For the first time since coming back from Thailand, she felt truly safe. A month passed. Maya learned to live with her guardian spirit. She kept the wooden doll on a small shelf in her living room with a plate beside it for offerings. She talked to the spirit sometimes, telling it about her day or asking it questions. She never heard words back, but sometimes the TV would flicker or lights would dim in a way that felt like answers. Maya wore the blue spiral mark like a strange tattoo now. It no longer grew or changed. She still kept it covered around other people, but at home she would roll up her sleeves and look at the beautiful blue lines that wrapped around her arm. One day, Maya was at work when a woman came into the coffee shop. She was tall with long dark hair and eyes that seemed too black. She ordered a coffee and sat at a table near the counter. As Maya worked, she felt the woman watching her. The herb bag in Maya's pocket felt warm, like it was trying to warn her. When the shop was empty except for the woman, she came up to the counter. "You have something that does not belong to you," she said in a low voice. Maya stepped back. "I don't know what you mean." The woman's eyes flicked to Maya's arm, where the mark was hidden under her sleeve. "The guardian," she said. "It is not yours to keep." Maya felt cold fear in her stomach. "Who are you?" "I am a keeper of the old ways," the woman said. "The spirit you took was meant to guard sacred things, not a coffee shop girl. I have come to take it back where it belongs." Maya's arm began to ache. The mark was cold again. She could feel the spirit stirring around her, agitated by the woman's words. "It chose to come with me," Maya said, after I disturbed its rest." The woman's face hardened. "You defiled its vessel and forced it to find a new home. Now it is confused, lost. It must be returned to a proper temple, not left to waste its power guarding one insignificant person." Maya did not know what to say. Was the woman right? Was she being selfish keeping the spirit with her? Maybe it should be in a real temple, guarding something important. "How would you take it back?" Maya asked. The woman reached into her bag and pulled out a small bottle filled with dark liquid. "This will break the binding between you and the spirit. Then I will guide it back to its rightful place." Just then, Maya's boss came out from the back room. The woman quickly put the bottle away. "Think about what I said," she told Maya. "I will return tomorrow for your answer." Then she left the shop. Maya could hardly focus for the rest of her shift. When she got home, her apartment felt different. The air was heavy and cold. The wooden doll was on the floor, not on its shelf. Maya picked it up and placed it back carefully. Was that woman telling the truth? She asked the empty room. "Should I let you go back to a real temple?" The TV turned on. Static filled the screen again, but this time no clear images formed. The static just swirled and pulsed, like the spirit was upset or confused. Maya sat on the couch and watched the patterns change. "I don't want you to leave," she admitted. "I've gotten used to having you here, but I don't want to keep you if you should be somewhere else, guarding something important." The static on the TV formed into a single word: "Stay." Maya felt tears in her eyes. "You want to stay with me." The word on the screen changed. Puroteki. Maya understood then. The spirit had chosen her as its new purpose. It did not want to go back to an old temple. It had found a new temple in her. The woman was wrong about what the spirit wanted. That night, Maya could not sleep. She kept thinking about the woman and the dark liquid in the bottle. What if the woman tried to take the spirit by force? What if the liquid hurt the spirit or hurt Maya? She decided to go back to the old woman's shop the next morning to ask for help. When morning came, Maya called in sick to work. She did not want to see the strange woman again. She put the wooden doll in her bag and went to the herb shop. The old woman was grinding dried leaves in a bowl when Maya walked in. "The protector is troubled," the old woman said at once, looking past Maya's shoulder. Maya nodded. "A woman came to the coffee shop yesterday. She said she wants to take the spirit back to a temple. She had some kind of potion to break our connection." The old woman's face grew serious. "There are those who seek to control the old spirits for their own purposes. They believe spirits should serve them, not choose their own path." She put down her bowl and came around the counter. "Show me your mark." Maya did not go to work the next day either. She stayed in her apartment with the doors locked and curtains closed. The wooden doll sat on the table in front of her. The herb bags from the old woman were next to it. Maya waited for the strange woman to find her. Around noon, there was a knock at the door. Maya did not answer. Then she heard a key turning in the lock. Maya jumped up in fear. She had not given anyone a key to her apartment. The door opened and the dark-haired woman stepped inside. "How did you get in here?" Maya asked, backing away. The woman held up a key. The building manager is very helpful when shown the right persuasion. She closed the door behind her. "Have you considered my offer?" Maya stood her ground. "Yes, and the answer is no. The spirit wants to stay with me. It chose me." The woman smiled, but it was not a kind smile. Spirits do not choose. They serve. This one has forgotten its purpose after so many years. I will remind it. She reached into her bag and pulled out the dark bottle. Maya felt the air in the apartment grow cold. The blue mark on her arm was like ice. She could feel the spirit's fear and anger. "Leave us alone," she said to the woman. "The spirit doesn't want to go with you." "The spirit does not decide," the woman said. She opened the bottle. The liquid inside smelled bitter and strange. "This will break your binding. It may hurt, but that is the price of taking what is not yours." Maya backed away further until she hit the wall. The woman advanced with the open bottle. Then something happened. The wooden doll on the table began to shake. It rose into the air, floating between Maya and the woman. The air around it shimmered like heat over hot pavement. The woman stopped, her eyes wide. "No," she whispered. "It cannot manifest without its proper vessel." But the doll continued to float. Then it began to change. It grew larger, stretching and shifting until it took the shape of a tall figure. The blank face of the doll became the wooden mask from the temple, red and black paint glowing in the dim apartment. Blue light shone from the eye holes. The spirit had made itself visible. It stood between Maya and the woman, a guardian made of air and light and ancient power. Its form was not solid, but Maya could see the shape of a warrior, with the wooden mask as its face. The woman stepped back. "This is not possible," she said. "You cannot take physical form without a proper binding ritual." The spirit did not speak, but the air in the room vibrated with its anger. Objects began to rattle on shelves. The lights flickered. Maya felt the blue mark on her arm pulse with warmth now, not cold. The spirit was drawing strength from their connection. The dark-haired woman raised the bottle. "You will obey me," she said. "I am a keeper of the old ways. I know the words of binding." She began to speak in a language Maya did not understand. The spirit seemed to waver for a moment, its form becoming less clear. The woman smiled and continued her chant. She stepped forward with the bottle raised. The dark liquid inside bubbled and smoked. Maya felt a sharp pain in her arm where the blue mark was. She could feel the spirit being pulled away from her. Without thinking, Maya grabbed one of the herb bags the old woman had given her. She threw it at the dark-haired woman. The bag burst open, filling the air with dried leaves and powder. The woman coughed and stopped her chant. The spirit's form became stronger again. The blue light from the eye holes of the mask grew brighter. The bottle in the woman's hand began to shake. Then it shattered, spraying the dark liquid over the floor. The liquid hissed and steamed where it touched the ground. "No," the woman shouted. "Do you know what you have done? That potion took months to make." The spirit moved closer to the woman. It made no sound, but the mask's empty eye holes stared at her. The woman backed toward the door. "This is not over," she said to Maya. "That spirit belongs in a temple, not with a girl who knows nothing of the old ways." The spirit raised one arm. A blast of cold air hit the woman, pushing her back against the door. She gasped and fumbled for the handle. "It has grown too strong," she muttered. "The binding is too deep now." The woman opened the door and slipped out. Maya heard her footsteps running down the hallway. The spirit remained visible for a moment longer. then slowly faded until only the wooden doll remained, dropping gently back onto the table. Maya sank to the floor, her heart racing. The mark on her arm throbbed, but the pain was fading. "Thank you," she whispered to the spirit. "Thank you for staying with me." She cleaned up the broken glass and spilled liquid carefully, using gloves to avoid touching it. The herb powder from the bag she had thrown was everywhere, but Maya did not mind. It had helped save her, and the spirit from the woman's dark magic. The dark-haired woman did not come back the next day or the day after. A week passed. Maya went back to work at the coffee shop. She kept both herb bags with her all the time now. The wooden doll stayed at home on its special shelf. Maya felt safer knowing the spirit could take visible form if needed. Maya went back to the old woman's shop to tell her what had happened. The old woman listened carefully to the story of the spirit manifesting and the dark-haired woman's retreat. "The spirit has grown stronger through its bond with you," the old woman said. "It is rare for guardian spirits to show themselves so clearly. It must care for you very much." "Will the woman come back?" Maya asked. The old woman looked troubled. "Perhaps. There are those who seek to control the old spirits for their own power. But your guardian has shown it is strong enough to resist, and the binding between you grows stronger each day." Maya returned home feeling better. That night, she had a strange dream. She was back in Thailand at the temple, but everything looked different. The temple was new and bright with fresh paint and gold decorations. People in old-style clothes moved around, praying and leaving offerings. In the dream, Maya saw a young man standing guard at a small building. He wore no mask, but she somehow knew he was her guardian spirit when he was alive. He looked strong and kind, with serious eyes that watched everything. She tried to speak to him, but he could not see her. She was just a ghost in his time. The dream changed. Maya saw the man fighting against attackers who came to rob the temple. He was brave and skilled with his sword, but there were too many enemies. Maya watched in horror as the man was wounded, falling to his knees. Even then, he kept fighting until his last breath. Maya saw the temple workers gather around the fallen guard. They said prayers over his body. Then one of them carved a wooden mask and painted it with red and black designs. They placed the mask on the dead guard's face during his burial ceremony. "Your spirit will guard this place forever," they said. "This mask will be your face when you watch over us." Maya woke up with tears on her face. The dream had felt so real. She went to the living room where the wooden doll sat on its shelf. The blue mark on her arm glowed softly in the dark. "I saw you," she said quietly. "I saw who you were. You were so brave." The air in the room grew warm, like an embrace. Maya sat on the couch, thinking about the dream. The spirit had been a real person once, with hopes and dreams of his own. He had died protecting what he loved. And now, hundreds of years later, he was still doing the same thing. The next day was Maya's day off. She decided to do something special for the spirit. She cleaned her apartment and bought fresh flowers. She made a small plate of food with rice, fruit, and cookies. She placed these on the shelf next to the wooden doll, along with a small cup of water. "This is to honor you," she told the spirit. "Thank you for protecting me." As she sat reading on the couch that evening, Maya felt the air change. The wooden doll began to glow with soft blue light. Then the spirit appeared again, taking form in the middle of the living room. It was clearer this time, more solid-looking. The wooden mask floated above a body made of shifting blue light. Maya could see the shape of the young man from her dream, wearing the clothes of an ancient temple guard. Maya stood up slowly, afraid to move too quickly and make the spirit disappear. "Can you talk?" she asked. The spirit did not speak with words. Instead, Maya heard a voice inside her head, soft and distant. Maya. It knew her name. "Yes," she said. "I'm Maya. What is your name?" The voice in her head was hesitant, like someone trying to remember something from long ago. "Kavi. Kavi," Maya repeated. That's a beautiful name. The spirit, Kavi, moved around the room, looking at Maya's things. His movements were smoother now, more human. He stopped at the shelf where Maya had placed the offerings. One glowing hand reached out toward the flowers. "Can you touch things?" Maya asked. Kavi turned to her. "Sometimes," the voice in her head answered, "when the bond is strong." The spirit's hand passed through the flowers at first. Then, as Maya watched, the hand became more solid. Kavi touched a flower petal, making it move slightly. Then he picked up the wooden doll from the shelf. He held it up, looking at the blank face. "My first form," the voice said, "before I remembered my shape." Maya understood. When the spirit first came to her, it had taken the form of the faceless doll because it had forgotten what it once looked like. Now, with their bond growing stronger, Kavi was remembering his human form. "Will you stay with me?" Maya asked. "Forever." The spirit placed the doll back on the shelf. "My purpose is to guard," the voice said. "You are my temple now." Maya felt tears in her eyes again, but they were happy tears. She had found a friend and protector in the most unexpected way. What had started as a frightening haunting had become something beautiful. "And I will guard you too," she promised. "Whatever you need to stay strong, I will provide." The spirit's form glowed brighter for a moment. Then slowly, it faded back into invisible air. But Maya knew Kavi was still there, watching over her. The wooden doll on the shelf seemed to sit more upright, more alert, and the blue spiral mark on Maya's arm felt warm and alive. 6 months passed. Maya's life changed in many small ways. She kept the wooden doll with her always, carrying it in her bag when she left the apartment. The blue spiral mark on her arm became a permanent part of her, like a tattoo that sometimes glowed when Kavi was active. Maya learned more about her guardian spirit. Sometimes Kavi would speak to her in her mind, sharing memories of his life hundreds of years ago. Sometimes he would appear in his glowing form when they were alone. He grew stronger, able to move small objects or create cool breezes on hot days. Once, Maya's neighbor locked himself out of his apartment. Kavi opened the lock from the inside, while Maya distracted the neighbor with conversation. Another time, Maya's car would not start in a dark parking lot. Kavi made the engine turn over just long enough for her to drive home. The dark-haired woman never returned. Maya sometimes worried she might come back with new dark magic, but as months passed with no sign of her, the fear faded. The old woman at the herb shop said the woman had likely moved on to seek other spirits, knowing this one was too strongly bound now. Maya's mother came to visit from another state. Maya was nervous about having her mother in the apartment with Kavi. She had not told her family about the spirit. How could she explain something so strange? But Kavi stayed hidden while her mother visited. The wooden doll did not move from its shelf. The blue mark on Maya's arm did not glow. On the last night of her mother's visit, the older woman looked around the apartment with a curious expression. "This place feels so safe," she said. "I sleep better here than I do at home." Maya smiled. "I'm glad you like it." Her mother touched the wooden doll on the shelf. "Interesting little thing. Where did you get it?" "Thailand," Maya said. "From my trip." Her mother nodded. "It feels special, like it's watching over the place." Maya felt Kavi's presence stir at her mother's words. The air in the room grew warmer. Her mother did not notice, but Maya knew Kavi was pleased. Even someone who did not know about spirits could feel his protective presence. After her mother left, Maya's life fell into a comfortable pattern. She went to work, spent time with friends, and lived normally. But she always had Kavi with her, a secret guardian that only she could see. She still left offerings on the shelf and talked to him every day. 1 year after their first meeting at the temple in Thailand, Maya woke up to find something new on her nightstand. It was a small wooden carving of a temple. The detailed carving showed every pillar and step of a Thai temple like the one where they had met. Beside it was a small wooden figure of a guard, standing at attention. "Did you make this?" Maya asked the air. The voice in her head was clearer now, easier to hear. "Yes," Kavi said, to mark our time together. It's beautiful, Maya said, touching the careful carving. Thank you. That evening, Maya sat on her couch while Kavi manifested in his glowing form. He could stay visible longer now, sometimes for hours at a time. They had developed their own way of talking, with Kavi speaking directly to Maya's mind while she spoke out loud. Do you ever miss your temple? Maya asked him. The real one in Thailand. Kavi was quiet for a moment. Then his voice filled her thoughts. It was my purpose for many lifetimes, but purposes can change. You are my temple now. But I'm just one person, Maya said. The temple protected many people. Important religious things happened there. All life is sacred, Kavi said. One or many, the duty is the same. Maya thought about that. To Kavi, guarding her was as important as guarding the ancient temple had been. His dedication had not lessened, only changed focus. Are you happy? She asked. It was something she had wondered for a long time. The glowing figure moved closer to her. Happiness is for the living, Kavi said. But I have purpose. I have meaning. And I have memory again, thanks to you. Maya understood. Before their connection, Kavi had been forgetting himself, losing his human memories as the centuries passed. Now, through her, he was remembering who he had been. Their bond had given him back himself. We saved each other, Maya said. Kavi nodded, the wooden mask moving in agreement. The one who disturbed my rest became my new purpose. Perhaps it was meant to be. Maya thought about the moment in Thailand when she had thrown dust at the guard's mask. It seemed so long ago now, a thoughtless action that had changed her life forever. What had begun as fear had grown into understanding, and finally into friendship. She looked at the blue spiral mark on her arm. It no longer seemed strange or frightening. It was a sign of their connection, a bond that would last for a lifetime, and perhaps beyond. Maya had read stories about guardian spirits staying with families for generations. Maybe someday, long after she was gone, Kavi would protect her children or grandchildren. Whatever happens, Maya said, I'm glad I threw that dust at you. Kavi's glowing form shimmered, his version of laughter. And I am glad I followed you home, his voice said in her mind. Outside, the city continued its busy life. People walked past Maya's apartment, never knowing that inside was a being from another time, a guardian spirit bound to a young woman through a chance encounter at an ancient temple. They would never see Kavi's glowing form or hear his voice in their minds. They would never know the comfort of having a personal guardian watching over them day and night. But Maya knew. And as she sat with Kavi's spirit glowing softly in her living room, she felt truly blessed. Not everyone could say they had a guardian spirit from an ancient temple following them home. Not everyone had a friend who had lived for centuries and would never leave their side. Maya reached out toward Kavi's glowing form. She could almost feel something solid now, like touching warm air that pushed back against her fingers. Their bond was still growing stronger. Who knew what might be possible in another year? To new beginnings, Maya said. And ancient promises, Kavi's voice answered in her mind. The wooden mask tilted toward her in a nod of agreement. The blue spiral mark on Maya's arm glowed in response, completing the circle of their unusual friendship.